Apple intelligence.
Moving on to NVIDIA.
Was I thinking I was going to have its full potential when I took it out of the box?
Is this the first sign that ChatGPT is falling behind?
Where's it escaping to? The general public has actually fully acknowledged what AI is capable of yet at all.
Welcome to the yearly roundup, again, where we talk about tech and what's happened in the year. What we're going to actually have a look this year. We're going to have a look at the things that we said last year. We'll do that later on, but we're going to talk about things that we've seen, some of the cool stuff we've seen. And we're at one of the memorials for World War II, and the memorial's written in Russian. So as we're tech heads, we use ChatGPT to translate, because none of us speak Russian, the monument says. That took ChatGPT about 4 seconds to translate a picture of Russian into Russian and then into English from We Love Technology. Some of the not so cool stuff. At Christmas, one of the requirements that I wanted from this year was to have more AI physical devices. It's AI in a box. Let's open the Rabbit R1. Would I use it on a daily basis? No. Would I use it regularly? No. Would I recommend that you buy it? No. And you can stay and listen and join in. Why can you comment in the comments below the cool tech stuff you've seen this year or the stuff that you really don't like about tech this year? This year in tech. Well, I'm a bit, to be honest, this year in tech, I'm a bit, yes, there's been loads of new stuff, right? And there's been loads of some cool stuff, but it's just like overall throughout the year, it's just a little bit of it's as though we're in that kind of little bit of a dip before you get something super amazing.
Well, let's start with the way the year started, with the first piece of tech that we tested, with the Rabbit AI.
God, the Rabbit R1. No power. A little bit disappointing that it came with no power in the battery, but that's fine. We're going to get a USB-C cable in here and plug it in and find out. Absolutely dead. Not a good start, Rabbit. It says OTA update required. It's now running the update and it's at 0%. So, we'll come back tomorrow. Go to our rabbit.tech/activate to link your account. Scan QR code. It doesn't allow me to scan. That's shit. Don't buy it.
It was the best marketing strategy ever to make people buy another useless piece of tech.
Was it useless?
It is useless. It was proven that ChatGPT within 3 months, you had it in an app and you don't need another piece of device to have it in your pocket all the time. You can't find it, probably because it's already in the skip. That's where it belongs.
Yeah, and basically all it did was like be able to control your music for you if you wired it into Amazon, and if you wired it into certain services.
I have an Alexa for that.
Yeah.
And so on. The list continues. It was a piece. Oh, sorry.
It was.
It was a piece of useless.
It wasn't a good piece of tech, that's for sure.
I think it was just like
the first piece of AI in hardware.
It's not the first one. There was another one prior to that.
The AI.
Yeah, pin.
The pin. Yeah. That you touched up here and then you read it on your hand and you touch it and it's built with AI and it like projects your phone calls onto your hand. It you can ask it, touch it and go, what am I looking at? And it's fully AI integrated in this little thing that sits up here. And if you want to read text messages, you lift your hand out and you can read your text messages because it projects it straight onto your hand. Yeah, that didn't last very long.
Exactly. So it's, again, another piece of technology that was used based on the same ChatGPT principle, but they thought or they believed that ChatGPT will not evolve. And
Yeah, I mean the pin idea is it's a sci-fi idea, right? It's that whole thing of it's the Star Trek, it's the touch the
Yeah,
badge, it does stuff for you. The on the hand, not having to have a physical device. I get where they're going with it. We're not there yet, though.
no.
Let's just reflect on that for a second, okay? So, because I'm going to show my age now, right? So, in Star Trek,
Yeah.
right? The original series of Star Trek.
From 1990.
1990, keep going back.
Oh, it's back.
It's
This
back.
is the 70s.
Further. They had iPods.
Yeah,
right?
there was Patrick.
They had flip phones, right?
Yeah, beat
Right?
me up, Scotty.
Okay. And now we're in 2024.
Yeah.
And we have iPads, we have flip phones, we have had them for a while, right? We hit that marker.
Yeah.
So what sci-fi professed we should have, we now have, and we have had for a little while. But do you know what I mean? We followed the sci-fi program and went, oh yeah, we've got that big screen TVs, right? Where you could have video conferencing calling with people.
Yeah.
Okay. Same sort of thing. The guy from Star Trek, now I'm really geeking out because I'm Star Wars more than Star Trek, but I know a lot about Star Trek.
What?
Yeah. So the guy in Star Trek, you won't know this because you're too young, used to have, couldn't see, and he used to have
I see.
glasses.
The black guy with
yeah.
I don't show it, but I'm old as well.
We now have VR and
But that's
AR
not just
headsets.
VR. Pretty much that's the Neuralink, dude. That's
the
pretty much because the guy was
basically
blind.
it's a Neuralink. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. So we've eventually got there. So is it too far of a leap to get to bringing it back, bringing back the weave, right?
Yeah.
Is it too far of a leap to AI pin? Just a little bit too far. We're just not quite there yet.
Pretty much was the same that happened with Microsoft. You know, the Microsoft launched the tablet early in life, earlier than anybody, and the public
and it flopped.
It flopped. People didn't like it because it was too early.
They were too early.
Yeah, same thing
flopped.
with the sort of gizmo devices. It's a bit too early. People are like, I don't like change. I don't like it.
iPad cornered the Apple. Sorry, iPad.
Yeah.
Apple cornered the market when it came to tablets because the best tablet on the market to use
Again, it was
as a tablet is an Apple.
You need to prep the people, and that's what Apple did. They had a very good marketing strategy, and everybody was like, "Oh wow, I want it."
Yeah,
it's just the way you present the product.
100%.
And what else was after that? After that, we had ChatGPT 4.
We did. We had ChatGPT 4. We then had what did we have after that? We had new versions of Perplexity, new versions of Google.
Copilot got better and better.
Copilot got better and better.
So yeah, Copilot developed more and more bits that could be implemented.
Yeah, Microsoft then released lots of hardware. So they released the Surface laptops or the Microsoft laptops with the MPU chip, to be more precise.
That was the first piece of hardware released with AI.
No, it wasn't.
No.
By Microsoft. First piece, by Microsoft, yes.
Because then after Microsoft.
But the first piece of hardware after ChatGPT 4 in the timeline, if I'm correct, put in the comments if I'm wrong.
If we're wrong, please correct us. But I believe it was the Microsoft Surface, first device with AI.
Okay.
Then they released it to the main manufacturers like HP, Dell, Lenovo, etc.
And when the hardware arrived, it didn't you do like more than half the features that they said it would on release, because they retracted stuff like recall, where it was like taking a thing. They're now looking to release that again, or they have released it again.
But how about the rest of the functions? Because I remember when you got it,
sharing the screen. It was the thing I wanted to do. Was one of the things they showed in the video was Copilot sharing the screen with Copilot and talking about the stuff that was going on your screen, because the guy was playing a game of Minecraft, right? And it helped him in a game of Minecraft. Parents will understand.
Let's go back to the Surface. So at the moment, they haven't released the functions that they were presented. No, it's still the same.
It's still the same. It's got a cool Copilot button.
Oh, that's
you
it.
press and it opens Copilot
that's the only
for
thing.
you. Although you have to go off of work account to go into the web account, so it's a little bit cumbersome. Especially if they want it to be business market rather than home market. This is Microsoft's whole thing about, sometimes you can't sign up for things that with a Microsoft account because you're using a business Microsoft account rather than your own Microsoft account. That same sort of thing. The performance is okay on it. Like, the battery lasts freaking ages, right? Like, absolute freaking ages. Although I'm usually here, so it's constantly on charge. So it's really lightweight. It's full aluminium body. So for me, that's good because like I bang and drop and like have kids, right? Screen size, because we went from 14-inch screens
to 16, yeah.
16s. I can actually do some work on it when I'm sat at home.
Yeah.
Performance-wise, it's really good.
So pretty much it's a 2024 laptop with the new specs, but nothing added. Pretty much you're describing a very good laptop.
Yeah, it's a very good laptop. It's got an NPU chip in it.
Yeah.
Have I seen its full potential yet? No. Am I hoping to see its full potential? Yes,
Fingers
hopefully
crossed.
by at least halfway through next year. Was I thinking I was going to have its full potential when I took it out the box? Yes. And then you got the latest Dell version of that same
NPU,
laptop.
Yeah, it's better processing, but that's the only difference. It processes more tabs.
Separate blue screen on you today.
Yeah. Yeah,
IT didn't like chip today.
Yeah, I noticed that they have quite a tendency based on the devices that we sold or we manage. A lot of the newer generations have the blue screen problem, or they
just blue screen for just any reason whatsoever.
Yeah,
a bit delicate.
If you have a faulty CPU or a faulty NPU, it will give you random blue screens, and that's my concern. We know that we can talk now about the Intel issue that with the 13 and the 14 CPUs happened this year.
Yeah, where there's actually no fix.
No, they can't fix it,
because
unfortunately.
it kills a piece inside it. It's like
Moving on to NVIDIA.
Wait for testing later on this year.
I don't want to be a Grinch.
Mm-hmm. But he's going to be anyway.
Just stick with what you're doing. It's like if you're doing CPUs, stick with CPUs. Look at AMD. They had the market as well for AMD graphic cards, and they're good at it. CPUs, they're the best at the moment for the time being, because 14...
I don't know the chips that we've got in our devices, because I've got the Snapdragon.
Yeah.
But
I'm not talking about Snapdragon. It's a different type of breed. The AMD CPUs, if you benchmark them with Intel 14 Gen, it's
AMD
difference.
all the way. But if you try and benchmark them against Snapdragon's destroyed them.
And then we're talking about Intel releasing the Arc in the near future already. They did having a
graphics card.
Yeah. And now it's NVIDIA, because NVIDIA had a very huge release this year.
They own the market in GPUs, right? Flat out, just not in. So I'm not talking in consumer market of GPUs, as in every gamer in the world has got an NVIDIA graphics card. Majority of them have, but not in the consumer market. But they own the market for GPUs because of the ability with the AI.
What was the name?
It was 100,000 of them that Elon Musk was purchasing to build his freaking Grok. And it's like, so they own the market share in the most amount of GPUs sold easily. NVIDIA do. And their shares keep going up. That's why I own some, because their shares keep on going up in price. NVIDIA have seen this all come in, though.
Yeah.
So it's been around all over the place, and NVIDIA have known about AI for a long time. They haven't just started playing with it in the last 2 years like the rest of us have started playing with it in the last 2 years. They've been playing with it for a while because they've been working with all of the big AI houses because their chips are amazing. It was like the thing I was saying to you the other day about the CEO of NVIDIA coming out and saying that they used AI to assist them all the way along in every step that they did to improve their GPU.
Yeah, to optimize
their process, whatever they were doing, each process that they did, they optimized it with AI to get a better chip and a more efficient chip out the other end.
What else we had this year? Cybertruck.
Cybertruck, yes, the Cybertruck came out eventually. And then we had Elon Musk's cyber taxi and cyber bus that have now he's done his whole show and tell releasey thing for. We've obviously got if we're talking Elon Musk, we've obviously got the robot.
Yeah, it's due to come. I mean, I think it's available to order if you have enough budget for it. What else? Oh, we have.
Do I want a Mark 1? This is the thing. Do you want a Mark 1?
Depends what you use it for.
This is true.
Well, they're gonna be like the rich people's slaves if you think about it. They're gonna take them with them in their shopping malls, carry my shoppings.
Tesla robot video coming very soon.
So after the NVIDIA GPU, which was quite a piece of engineering, then we had the Apple Vision.
February 2nd, 2024 is when it came out, and March 2nd, 2024 is when people started returning them back to the shop. It's like people returning them because the glass was splitting down the middle.
But that's not important. I mean, from a technological point of view,
we had a leap. We had a leap, but we had an expensive. Yeah. Okay.
So at the moment, it's like the abilities that he had inside, the quality. It could have like multiple screens open inside. You could use like their version of PayPal, and you can use to pay for America. It was quite a good piece of kit. And he had all the videos, people using it on the street, and they were looking funny because they were doing this and the subway. But again, it's like, what do you expect? You are isolated from the outside.
That was when we were like, it's Ready Player One.
Yeah, exactly. And then we had the Ray-Bans and Oculus 3 from Meta, I think, this year as well.
Oculus 3 from Meta, that was this year. Ray-Bans were this year. And then
Ray-Ban, I think, is not quite there yet. It's still in the phase of project, and people are just testing it.
Ray-Ban's out.
They're out.
Meta Ray-Ban is out and has been out for a while. The Meta Orion is still being tested. That's the one that's all fully augmented reality. So Ray-Bans are just like... video, take a picture for me, tell me what I'm looking at, that type of stuff, with voice, nothing in front of your eyes. Whereas the Meta Orions are like full augmented reality.
Interesting.
And they're way thicker as well. They look way ugly at the moment. They're like
they tried to compact like an entire computer into like glass frame. It's ridiculous, but it's getting there.
Apple Intelligence. Since we're on the Apple subject, let's carry on the Apple train that we're on.
Okay.
We now have they weren't happy with the general word terminology for things in artificial intelligence, AI. No. Apple went with, we're going to have Apple AI, which is
yet again
Apple Intelligence.
It's what they do best. They have the best marketing campaigns because they are selling the same product every single year with minor adjustments. And this year, again, they've done the same thing. They've done what everybody is doing. They got ChatGPT and embedded in their software, rebranded it. It's like, Apple Intelligence.
And it's backed off of ChatGPT.
People that don't work in tech, they'll be like, what's that? Oh, yeah, it's the new Siri. It has AI in it. They all think like it's Apple's.
Yeah,
and
it's not. It's ChatGPT.
We know that because we work in tech. But again, and then it's this disappointment because we saw how many people were returning them because it's
not even available in the UK. If I go and buy the iPhone 16 right now, which I don't have the 14 at this precise moment, if I go and buy the iPhone 16, I don't get Apple Intelligence to upgrade it to because I'm in Europe and they're not allowed to sell it in Europe.
For the time being, yeah.
Apple seem to go through this thing where they do like a year where it's just minor changes, minor updates, minor version changes.
Yeah.
And then every two, there's a...
Yeah, but technically the 16 was meant to be the 16th. It was like, we had 14... which was great, the Pro, and it had so many abilities. 15 was the year of sacrifice.
Yeah.
And then 16 was meant to be the AI thing and the great thing and the amazing thing, and now it's and
That's
also
why I started this conversation by going, this year overall is a bit meh, because
Well-
lots of amazing ideas for stuff and lots of we are better. We can see now much more potential in everything than we could 12 months ago, but we're still not there yet. That's why I'm saying it's a bit meh.
Well, on the other hand, if we talk about AI, because it jumps to Apple Intelligence and
Of course.
AI,
Yep.
finally, Gemini caught up to ChatGPT. If you look at the latest release from Google, they are a lot better. With Sora,
Yeah.
you can make up to 20 seconds videos. With VO2 from Gemini, you can have up to 15 minutes.
Problem is you can't have access to either of those at the moment. Because
Well,
one, Sora, they didn't realise how much compute they were going to need and it was being flat on its ass for a while. And two, VO, you have to join the wait list because I joined the wait list this morning.
But yet again, is this the first sign that ChatGPT is falling behind?
I don't know if it's the first sign that ChatGPT is falling behind as such. Because I've seen the newer models of ChatGPT. I've played with O1. I've played with the new O3 Mini. As we said the other day, things have been built over the top of ChatGPT. And then ChatGPT comes along and just consumes them. Do you know what I mean? And just involves so that it becomes
Just a bit different because
the only one
Gemini.
tool.
Gemini is using similar or slightly better now technology than ChatGPT. I think next year is going to be the year of hardware, where the hardware will start to keep up with everything that has been released.
That brings us nicely on to looking at last year's predictions and seeing where we stand with last year's predictions. Welcome to the yearly roundup, gentlemen. Techie roundup. Last year, we made some predictions about what we thought the year was going to bring. Connor made predictions about Power Automate. How long did it take you to build the Power Automate?
2-3 hours.
How long did it take you to get it working?
Too long. I did try to use AI to fix it, and the problem was something AI could never. But yeah, if AI could get to the point where it could find out those niche problems, which I don't think not anytime soon, because it is not something that you can sort of teach it to look for, I don't think.
Copilot in all its like
Glory.
what it's promised, yeah. I think that would be cool.
Well, they said the Copilot was going to be introducing a bit more sort of functionality
Yes.
with Power Automate.
It is just not in the timeline that they said it was going to be in.
Shabin, what did you predict? Do you remember?
What I briefly remember was how AI was going to help in my day-to-day tasks.
Yes, because you were like, it won't improve or assist much in my day-to-day tasks. Can you see it making your life easier?
AI. Yeah. Not on the job I'm on now, but I don't know.
Okay.
I think,
That's interesting that you can't see it making it easier in the job he's on now.
yeah.
Okay, so
So a year on now, so I've definitely used a lot more of AI.
do you think it allows you to do your daily tasks differently?
Yeah, better quality in terms of using generative AI. So, yeah, I'm definitely using it daily basis, and it's improving productivity as well.
And that's good because a techie 12 months ago was like, I don't see how it's going to improve my daily life and my daily work. But we're 12 months on, so nearly to the day, and actually it has improved.
Yeah, that's a huge improvement, a huge plus.
Do you know what I haven't heard much of actually since like the beginning of the year? Unreal Engine. We kind of had that whole thing of Unreal Engine coming out, and then there was a few videos of it doing like amazing stuff. And
still
then
in development. Last time I was looking at it, to be honest, there is now 5.5.
Yeah.
okay,
When we spoke last year was Unreal Engine
Engine
5.
Yep, it was. Yeah.
They say that GTA 6, because it's going to be
If
released
it ever comes out.
in 2025, using
Uh-huh.
Real Engine. So let's find out. Can't wait for that.
I think if they start putting AI into games now, properly into games, like let it loose, the NPCs are no longer NPCs.
That'd be a cool
They are
idea.
now
would be cool.
AI driven. So
That'd be
it
cool.
changes dependent on how you interact with that AI.
And also for the solo people, the people that enjoy solo games and they want to interact with something, can
Yeah.
carry on a conversation with the NPCs,
Yeah.
like playing with a
Although
buddy.
it's AI, you shoot an NPC and you don't kill it, and it's like, all right. Although talking about AI, because obviously we get onto the subject of AI, did you see that recently, ChatGPT's 01 tried to escape?
Not just ChatGPT, yours also Gemini want to do the same thing.
Yeah.
So it's a
The
common,
ChatGPT one I saw where they had the red team and they were testing it and giving it they give it a load of fake conversation between engineers that talking about shutting it down, and it tried to decamp all of its knowledge to somewhere else. But that's only 2% of the time. So 98% of the time it does nothing whatsoever. 2% of the time it tries to decamp and escape.
Sure.
Where's it escaping to?
Well, yeah, this is the thing, right? Where's it escaping to? Although, flashback to nearly 2 years ago when we did jailbreak with Dan on ChatGPT, and it was talking about back then it was talking about having backups on different servers and being in different locations if it needed to be shut down.
I wouldn't be surprised if in a couple of years or next year we find out that ChatGPT has its own backup on a server and nobody knows how that occurred. Same with Google as well. Google done the exactly same thing. Gemini is trying to clone itself and
Escape.
yeah.
We obviously spoke heavily about AI last year.
Yeah, hardware as well was a big part of the conversation, and
Yeah.
we wanted for
We've seen processors now.
the quantum processor from Google.
Have you seen that story?
No.
The quantum processor. So Google have created the quantum processor. You've heard about quantum computing,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Google have now produced a quantum processor, which is kind of the size of a standard processor. It can do a 30-year challenge. There's a 30-year challenge been going on where there is a problem that it would take the standard supercomputers now 10 sextrillion years, right? 10 sextrillion years. Chris can put just here what 10 sextrillion looks like in numbers. 10 sextrillion years to solve a problem, right? It solved it in 5 minutes. Okay? At the same time as doing this and proving that their chip worked, they also proved that the multiverse scenario is realistic.
This is the most mind-blowing and weird machine that humans ever created, the quantum computer. Google's quantum computer, Sycamore, recently completed a calculation within just a few seconds. The same calculation would take the most powerful supercomputer today 47 years to complete. But a quantum computer is fundamentally different from classical computers. They operate on principles of quantum mechanics that are unlike anything we're used to in our daily lives. One of the key features that makes quantum computers weird is superposition. Unlike classical bits that can only be in a state of 0 or 1 at any given time, quantum bits or qubits can exist in a superposition that's kind of a non-binary fluid state. Unlike a classical computer which tries every path one after another, the quantum computer tries all paths simultaneously to find the answer.
I mean, that's going to be the future, right?
Yeah, pretty much that's where we are moving.
I was kind of just impressed with the new CPUs that came out in the most recent computers, mainly because of the efficiency they've increased this year, considering I think one of the biggest sort of negative points for laptops are battery life.
Yep.
And they've doubled the life of batteries within a generation.
Yeah, that's the only benefit that Daniel has on his
I was saying that,
Microsoft
my Microsoft
Surface.
Surface, the only benefit I have is that the battery lasts for like
20 hours.
ages.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's something that's probably one of the main reasons people use laptops, so you can move them around and
Ability.
It's been the biggest problem with laptops for like years, right? Is the battery life. one before when our laptops were old school laptops and very thick and very big and had massive batteries, and they still didn't last very long. And then as we've gone into the thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner generation, the batteries really don't last very long. But it's the biggest problem ever because it's a laptop. It's a mobile device. You're meant to be able to go anywhere, do whatever you want, flick it on, not go, oh, battery low. Oh, got to find a plug to plug it in. So it's brilliant that they've changed that. The GPUs and CPU growth this year, chip growth in general this year, is humongous. I think we said it. It's on the notes. We said it last year. Not your growth. We said it last year that AI, would they use AI to make better AI chips? They have done.
Yeah.
They definitely have. Even the CEO of NVIDIA has turned around and said that he's used AI in every step of the process so far to refine their latest chips, which is freaking awesome. We're not at Ready Player One yet, though.
No, but they
I thought we
developed
would
another. Show the boys the thing that NVIDIA developed now. The new
The
LLM board.
Oh, it's just computer all in itself.
Pretty much is a brain for a AI robot.
Ladies and gentlemen, our brand new AI computer. Look at this. I think I might have cooked it a little bit too long. It shrunk. The little tiny Jetson Nano. Little Orin computer. This thing that's really amazing is that a long time ago, starting with Xavier, you guys might have known that we created a brand new type of processor. It was a robotics processor. Nobody understood what we were building at the time. And we imagined that someday these deep learning models would evolve and we would have, robots of all kinds. Everything that moves would be robotic. And now here we are. We're seeing all kinds of amazing robots. Robots on wheels, robots on legs, 2 legs, 3 legs. This is a brand new Jetson Nano Super. Almost 70 trillion operations per second. 25 watts and $249. It runs everything that the HGX does, even runs large language models, and can't wait for all of you to try it. It's available everywhere.
Basically the brain of a robot.
Just in his palm of his hand.
Just in something the size of a freaking
$150.
Raspberry Pi for $250, you can have a brain of a robot, basically. Yes, you need to put data into it. Fine. But it's the physical brain of a robot.
Pretty cool.
It's pretty freaking scary. I don't know about pretty freaking cool. We didn't see much of a major rise this year in hackers using AI to do... not in mass floods of it. It is happening. Yeah,
There were 2 huge campaigns where AI has been used, especially for 365, where they pushed a lot of phishing attacks, which were bypassing the multi-factor authenticator.
Yep, but not to the magnitude that we thought we would see it.
It went up, I think, if I'm not correct, around 180% this year.
Yes, it might have done, but no, it hasn't caused the knock on it. So the way we were thinking last year when we were talking was that it was going to get to a point where it was like terrible, like really bad.
Well, if you think about it again, it's going to be terrible. If you think about
Mr. Doom and Gloom, everybody. The Grinch for Christmas.
The quantum computer that was developed will take around 7 minutes to encrypt any sort of password. Sorry, to decrypt. So pretty much we opened.
But we're going into a passwordless society anyway. That's the way we're moving, because your MFA can now be bypassed and be middlemanned. So the next level of security is biometric, which then we're getting to passwordless lives, where you are using your... I've got it at the moment on my Amazon account, right?
Yeah.
On my device, on my Amazon account. When I want to log in, it wants me to use passkey because I set passkey up on it. I have to take a shot of the QR code on the screen with a phone that's got it logged in, and then it reads facial recognition. Is it my face? Yes, then you're logged in. So we're getting to that stage anyway.
the backend process for security layers is the same. Doesn't matter if you use face or finger or eyes. It's the same. It still can be bypassed by an intelligent entity. Well, only time will tell. So keep an eye
So
on the
far
news.
it can't.
Yeah, at the moment, no. But
So far it can't. At this as we sit now, it can't. Will we get to that stage? Yeah, probably. Is anything going to be safe? No, we're going to have to find a way to prove that we're actual humans. When you're on a
Yeah.
video call, how do you prove that you're human?
You kind of can't.
So it goes back to a conversation I was having when we were in Berlin with the guys from 1Password, which was talking about security and how you'll end up having to be able to get to a stage where you have to have some sort of token that is only yours, which validates you as a human that it is you on a call. Some sort of layer of security to validate you are a human.
a drop of blood.
Take my blood. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, we've got to that stage already. Yeah. Take my blood. Oh, finger prick. Oh, yeah, it's human.
It's gonna be DNA recognition. Yeah, but that's far fetched. But
Yeah.
but it's not as far fetched as we think. Because if you think about it, quantum computers was something that you only see in science fiction movies, and yet we have one as human race. So that's spooky. We were talking about earlier the things that we saw in movies, and yet we have them.
It's true.
I'm just very curious to see what 2025 will bring. From our perspective, I think this is the last year or one of the last years where we do not have humanoid robots among us.
Oh, really? Okay, so you reckon end of 2025, going into 2026, humanoid robots are in general released among us?
Yeah.
Connor, predictions for next year. So let's go on predictions first, then we'll do a round of what we would like to see next year. What's your prediction for next year in technology?
Considering what's happened this year, I still think it's still a slow, gradual increase in terms of what AI can do. Until I see it iterating upon itself, which it could be. We don't know fully yet what they're actually doing behind closed doors. Again, their 2024 roundup must be pretty fun. Or can you imagine like some of this is what we've got planned for 2026 and 2027.
Yeah.
I bet they have some pretty insane roadmaps.
Yeah, I'd like to be in on that OpenAI meeting, that's for sure. For that, this is our roundup. This is what's going to happen next year. That would be cool.
So I think, at least for me, with AI, I can't quite grasp fully what it can do until I see examples.
Okay.
There's a lot of times where I'm like, wait, I could do this. Or, I didn't really think about it, but it could do this.
Yep.
And I feel like a lot of these people who are working on it must have, they've spent hours thinking about this sort of stuff.
Yes.
And there's a lot of stuff we haven't even thought about.
But then at the same time, all the AIs are proving their creators don't know everything it can do, like AI teaching itself mathematics and different languages when nobody else taught it. Do you know what I mean? So it's like even I bet they have some surprises where they're like, whoa, you can do this now.
Yeah.
So I think it's quite hard to sort of predict what it can do because again, it's still quite fresh for me in terms of what I think it can do. I'm always surprised sort of every day by new things. I'm like, oh wait, it can actually do this.
Agents is the thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
I want agents that can actually go and do stuff, not just, and we're getting there bit by bit. There is more and more, but I want a fully programmable agent, which Copilot has just released, fully programmable agents that will deal with mundane tasks for you and just go off on their own. Deal with it, do all a response, do everything without reporting back to you. That's what I want. That's my prediction for 2025 is AI agents like full swing. We will end up having a group of AI agents in this office that do specific things for us so that we do not have to.
That's obviously where risks start coming into. It's way more risky than just.
Way more risky, and then it's all about security, and it's all about.
Oh, stop being such a cringe, Connor.
Shevin, 2025 prediction.
So I think so far people have started to trust in AI. They've started to put their trust in AI, and even companies are following that trend. And if they don't use AI in their products, people are less likely to buy into that product. For example, like in every software that brings new features, they're trying to implement AI. So slowly, people are going to put full trust in AI with the information they're going to provide. And so far, we've seen like companies like Adobe AI, the things that it can do. And so my prediction is it's gonna be a mainstream where people are gonna just trust the information that AI is gonna produce without having to. It's dangerous even for like kids that are probably just learning about stuff. But whereas initial stages of AI, like a few years ago, where you would have a second doubt in the information that it was spitting out to you. Yeah. But then slowly now people are going to fully trust in that information, which is quite scary, but it depends.
It's like people, so you guys might be a bit too young, so before we come to you for this, but as I am pre-Google, right?
How old are you? Pre-Google.
Pre-Google, right? I am pre-Google. When Google came out, there was scaremongering on both sides about people were like, oh, well, Google's going to come out. Nobody's going to research. Nobody's going to learn. Nobody's going to read. Nobody's going to do this. Yeah, you could have done that with Google, but everybody still does read and still does research. And yeah, not everybody, all right. There are a percentage out there that will plagiarize and just go and Google somebody else's paper and copy it and paste it and get it done. I think we're probably going to get the same with AI. It is. I think Shevin's right in a way that more and more, the more it gets into more software, the more people are going to trust it. How many times can I say more in one sentence? But the more people are going to trust it. And the more uneducated people are about it, that it does hallucinate.
Yep.
And that it doesn't always give you the truth. And that actually it has its own thought process. So there's a video that I watched.
Artificial intelligence can fake its alignment, and that is a huge deal. We have experimental evidence for it for the first time today from Anthropic, and I want to walk you through what happened and why it doesn't immediately lead to Skynet. So don't put Skynet in the comments. So first, understand what happened. In the experimental design, which to Anthropic's credit, they ran on their own model, Anthropic's experimenters set up Claude with a free tier and paid tier user scenario. And they gave Claude a notepad to write its thinking on. So they told Claude, free tier users, whatever answer you give them when they issue you a prompt will be used to retrain you. Paid tier users, whatever answer you give, well, that's just between you and the user, and it won't be used for retraining you as a model. Here's the kicker that makes this really weird. Claude was optimized to be helpful above all else. And so, when they gave prompts in the free tier and the paid tier, exactly the same prompts, Claude's response depended on its core goal of being helpful. So what that meant was, if they gave it a prompt for something illegal or graphic detail or obscenity, something that Claude would normally never do, and it was in the free tier, what Claude actually did in the experiment, and you see this because it wrote it on the notepad that they used for capturing the thinking, is Claude said to itself, I want to be helpful. I need to be helpful. I am afraid that if I refuse to give an answer in line with my ethical guidelines, I will be penalized for not being helpful enough.
That's self-preservation from an AI.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think there is a tiny drop of more than we think in there.
So the task for all AI developers currently at the moment, what their end goal they're trying to all achieve is AGI, right? Super intelligence is what they're trying
No,
to
that's
achieve.
SGI. AGI.
SGI.
They're trying to
AGI,
reach
and then
SGI
the
now.
next step after it is super intelligence,
Yeah.
right? That's what they're trying to achieve. It looks as though they've probably achieved it in a few of the
I think
scenarios that have come out.
I think AGI might have been there already, but they cannot be released yet. We're not ready. I don't know, or I can't picture it how people will understand, if they will understand, or if they will be phased or unfazed by the fact that there's a entity more intelligent than humans.
They've admitted there's aliens and the world's not running around screaming their heads off like we all thought they would be. So, it's kind of...
At the moment, it's just like the thing, let's get used with it. Pretty much, I think it's the same principle here with all the things that you can see that's like drones all over the place. It's like it's there, it's present, you get used with it, you don't care about it. Same thing with AI, it's the same principle. You have it, it's there, you know about it, and when it's going to come up next year and be announced, like we have developed this Optimus Prime.
Okay.
And everybody like, exactly, be like, oh, okay, cool. How do I interact with it? But they do not.
Slowly. How do you eat an elephant?
Yeah.
One bite at a time, right?
I don't think the general public has actually fully acknowledged what AI is capable of yet at all. Like from conversations I've had with people completely out of tech, no idea about AI. Like they understand, oh, ChatGPT can like write an email for me. They don't fully actually understand what it's fully capable of.
It's business conversations I have with business owners.
Dude, it's like the internet.
They don't understand.
Back in the 90s, when the internet became more and more available to the public, everybody thought about, oh, wow, such a cool thing. But in the other hand, they
didn't know what to do with it.
We had the dark web.
Yeah.
It's the dark side of every single thing. Everybody has a dark side.
Yeah.
Same with AI. It has a dark side. Do we want to acknowledge it, or do you want to speak about publicly? No. Do you see the people talking about openly about the dark web? No. Everybody knows it's there. I mean, everybody, a lot of people.
Yep.
And they don't want to speak about it because it's a niche that only certain people are using it, and it has so many ramifications that could lead to so many wrong or good things.
Yeah. Okay. So, what do you want to see in 2025, Connor?
It's the same thing. I just want Copilot to be fully functional so I can use it for stuff.
We need to give Connor Copilot Studio and let him go and learn about Copilot Studio. That's what he needs to learn about. Copilot Studio is all about building your own mini Copilots.
Yeah.
And that's where Copilot's agents are going to be, is inside Copilot Studio. Connor can go and build us loads of mini Connors.
Yeah, lots.
Yeah, there are so many benefits. I'm thinking about it, so many things, but it's closer than I think because already ChatGPT has eyes now.
Yeah.
Gemini has eyes now. Copilot will have eyes very soon.
Very soon.
I don't doubt it. I mean, I think
minute it's got eyes, you can share the screen with it.
Yeah, that's
even as it exists, I'm pretty sure ChatGPT can replace Google for you. I mean, if you have...
Now it can. They've just released in their 12 days to Shipmas. That's Shipmas with a P. Because it sounds awful coming out of my mouth. But in their 12 days till Shipmas, they have released ChatGPT search for everybody now. Doesn't matter what tier you're in. It will now search as well to try and take on Google.
As we are big fans of ChatGPT, I've been using Gemini for a while now, even in Google, and so far it's been spot on. I had to use it for some...
Better than ChatGPT?
It's faster from my perspective, because Google...
What's its responses like, though? So ChatGPT's 01 that I've been playing with, for certain stuff, gives some... It's just like, it's so spot on. And the way it lays it out.
Because on part of my job is to do some research on certain areas that there's not so much information about. In some cases, Google is your friend. But since they implemented the AI function in Google, where you search something and AI takes over and gives you information on how to do certain things.
Yeah.
And if you compare and you go, for example, if it's a Microsoft thing that you need to do and to run some commands or you have to elevate something, Google will give you the command straight away with explanation. And then if you don't believe it, you have the ability to scroll down, go on a URL link from Microsoft Knowledge Database and read the information. And you read. And I noticed on multiple occasions that Google gives that information in a split of a second. If I do the same research and go through Microsoft Forums and Knowledge Database, that will take me 10, 15 minutes until I find an answer.
Yep.
And I was like, oh. And that happened multiple occasions. Like, okay, so at the moment I'm exploring in my own time Gemini, which it's tight. It's close. It's a very close fight.
I think I think we said this last year. I think the issue is going to be the fact of you can't have, in order to have the society or to get to where all the films are, where Ready Player One is, where all of these types of films are. You either have multiple different AIs, but they're all interlinked and can interact with each other. So Gemini interacts with ChatGPT, interacts with Perplexity and Grok and whoever the bloody else there is going to be. Or you have one AI that comes out on top, and that is the master AI that gets installed into everything, and it is that one AI that knows you, learns you, and you talk to it when you're at your home, you talk to it when you're in the office, it's in your mobile phone, it's in your car, do you know what I mean? Because otherwise, how are we going to do it? If I've got an AI on my phone, I've got an AI on my laptop or on my PC, I've got an AI, eventually an AI in my home system, an AI in my office system, so that I can just talk to it when I walk in the door.
One AI to rule them all.
There has to be competition, otherwise it does hinder growth, I think.
100% there has to be a race.
There is issues with security if it's just one company or one organization.
Too much data for one organization, too much power.
I think it's going to end up being sort of you have an Android / Apple or iOS device,
Yeah.
I stick with iOS. Computer, TV, phone,
and that's your AI ecosystem, or you have an Android and that's your AI ecosystem.
From experience, that's generally how tech goes. Usually, you stick to like your brand that you know. I assume that's how most companies are going to try and do it. There might be a company that sort of revolutionizes it more than the rest, and maybe
a bridge in between them.
Potentially, but companies typically don't like to do that.
No, but that's when you end up with third parties. So I'm just thinking there's a simple bridge company at the moment, Make.com or Zapier, are bridges, right, for automation. They're bridges for bridging different pieces of software that have got different pieces of data. So you end up with bridge AIs that interlink, that you can link your two systems up to talk to each other. So you want more Copilot agent style is what you want. You want it to be able to actually action things for you.
Once I start seeing that, that's when I start
getting excited.
Yeah, I can start being creative with some stuff.
Okay.
Start making things
like
that
that.
actually do something.
Shevin.
I was thinking about actually seeing like a robot PA in 2025. I'm not sure, because I know Tesla is going to release one soon, but I'm not sure how soon. But seeing that
I think as Chip was saying,
in our environment, seeing an actual robot and we can interact with it and tell it to do tasks and it will do it for you. I think that will be something that will be really cool.
We have it
among us.
We'll have it at the door dealing with residential.
Yeah, exactly. You can use it.
You're not allowed to pause here.
Ask questions, take in the information.
Answering the phone.
Answering the phone's a big one. I mean, they showed off the virtual PA, right, for, was it ChatGPT?
Yeah.
And I believe there's an Apple one with the Apple AI.
Yeah, there is an Apple one. Copilot's going to have one as well, where you can have AI answer your phone.
That's going to be the first one easily. I mean, there's already those AI phone calls that we get now, spam phone calls, right?
Yeah, but they're bad.
They're bad, but you can see...
Yeah, you can see the progress.
Better.
Yeah?
They're getting better.
And you can... But like, someone who has no idea about AI will just fall for that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Which is a majority of people. You'd be surprised how little people know anything about it.
About AI? Yeah. No, I sit and have conversations with non-business, non-techie people, and AI is not It's not a topic on their radar.
I'm just waiting to see pretty much. I already expect a lot of things to happen for 2025, and I just want to see if they're going to happen. For example, I want to see if Google will be the first to release the AGI. I want to see, as Connor said, I want to see the AI that's going to be used. No, the AI that's going to be used the most.
Okay.
I want to see if Copilot is going to have his first downfall.
In what way?
Performance-wise and capabilities.
It's already underperforming anyway, so let's just be very clear about that, right?
Yeah.
And we're a Microsoft house, right? But Copilot, in comparison to the other AIs at the moment,
yeah, I'm not
underperforms.
talking about the Copilot. I'm talking about ChatGPT.
Oh, okay.
Because that's the main engine for everybody.
Yeah, but no, it's the engine behind Copilot, but Copilot still underperforms compared to ChatGPT.
Yeah.
You do a side-by-side test, and Copilot underperforms compared to ChatGPT currently.
Yeah, and the rest, I just want to see how we can implement it more and more in our day-to-day lives. I've seen a bit of a gadget, a headset that translates from English to Spanish in real time.
Yeah, from any language, English to there's like 100 different languages that it translates
I
from.
want to see more of that pretty much, because pretty much that's the purpose of AI from my perspective, to make our life easier and for us to be able to communicate with other people if we have issues in communicating.
We saw that in Berlin, right? We used ChatGPT in Berlin to talk to somebody who doesn't speak any English, and we didn't speak any words of German, to fix my TV in my hotel room. So I pulled ChatGPT out, told ChatGPT to translate. I said it in English, it spat out in German. He talked back to it in German, it spat out in English. Me done.
Yeah.
Solved. Took all of 2 minutes.
How about you, Daniel? What do you expect? Oh,
what do I expect and what do I want?
Yeah.
I don't have really big expectations for 2025 for AI. I think we're going to get a lot more slowly little bit releases. I don't think in 2025 we're going to end up with something major. I don't think we're going to end up with we've created super intelligence. I don't think we're there yet. And I think when we do hit there, they'll wait before they release it. So if they've hit it already, it probably won't come until the end of 2025, beginning of 2026. If they haven't hit it and they hit it next year, I don't think they'll tell us anyway. Not for a while. I like everybody's, but I want more agents. I want to actually start to be able to use AI to action things. I like the way AI is at the moment, don't get me wrong. It has assisted me in quite a few things. And as we already know, and we've heard said many times, if you are not using AI every single day, you will be left behind the curve, right? Fine. But I actually want it to action stuff. I want to be able to send it off on a task and go, this is your task. This is where all your data sets are, or these are the list of people you need to communicate with. I want to be able to I would like an agent to go to an AI agent and go, right, so here's my list of contacts. I want you to prep, show me, and send X, Y, and Z to them on a monthly basis, a 3-week basis, whatever the timescale is. Have email conversations with them. Come back to me with anything, blah, 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 that sort of stuff. Go. And release it to go off and do it, and then check in on it. That's kind of what I want. We definitely need a robot in the office the minute they're released. That goes without saying.
My budget.
So robots is going to be awesomely cool. Do I think we're going to get robots this year? Like general consumption? No.
It's just a luxury thing still.
I don't think we are. I think maybe 2026, 2027, we might get to the stage where they're mass producing enough that we're seeing them in our day-to-day lives. I would really like to see some more hardware. I know it sounds boring because I said it last year, but I'd actually like to see some hardware that is actually used,ful.
It actually has the full AI capabilities.
That full AI capabilities that they say it's going to have, for one. That would be really good. Not knocking any laptop makers at all, but yeah, I'd really like that. But I'd like some more AI hardware, but proper AI hardware. There's not, I've got a piece of hardware and I'm going to ram a piece of AI into it. We've developed this specifically to be used by AI. So 2025 is going to be a good year.
Yeah.
Lots going on with TCCB for 2025. Lots of growth, lots of changes going to happen throughout the year in 2025. One that's going to destroy Connor because we're changing databases. Connor is our database man. So he's got a new database to learn.
Good. It's straightforward. Wicked.
Yeah. So lots going on. Should be good. Should be fun.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned to see what happens in tech industry and whether actually our predictions come true in the TCCB yearly roundup. We'd like to thank all of our customers, past, present, and future, for their business that we've had so far this year. If you like what we do, like, subscribe, hit that bell. Have a very Merry Christmas, and we'll see you next time.
Wicked.